Good afternoon and welcome to another live lesson. My name is Leon Pakzad and today we are going to focus on main course of Paddington. The main focus today will be on first review of first 3 units of upper intermediate level, which will be mainly focused on present perfect and present perfect continuous. And we will have a very short review of article the as well. Let's start by giving a brief information about present perfect. As you know, all around the world there are different forms of standard exams like IELTS, TOEFL, and different proficiency exams. One of the most important things to prove your language proficiency is being able to speak complex. So complexity is something that you should have in both your speaking and writing to be able to look more proficient and competent in English. Today, one of the topics that we need in complexity will be covered here, which is present perfect and present perfect continuous. But what is present perfect? Let's check together. Present perfect is talking about an action that happened in the past, but the effect of it or the connection of that action can be easily seen in present tense. And normally we can say that the result of it is still tangible or clear in present tense. As you can see in this picture, the action happened in the past, but that yellow circle shows that the action has some effects up to present tense. The structure is using has or have plus past participle or third form of the verb. Let's look at some examples. I have seen that movie 20 times. In this sentence, the speaker wants to say that he has already watched the movie several times and still he remembers. So the action of watching happened in the past, but still he can or she can remember something about the movie in present tense. The other one, I think I have met him once before, again talking about an experience in the past. Or she has talked to several specialists about her problem. She had a problem in the past, she talked to some specialists and tried to figure that out. Now she's sharing her experience in present perfect with us. But in present perfect, unlike simple past, we can't talk, we can't show the exact time of happening of that action. And that's why normally the audience doesn't get to know about the exact time of happening. That's why grammar gives us some options to be able to narrow down the time of happening. What are they? 4 is first one that normally comes at the end of the sentence and talks about the duration or a period of time. In the example, we can totally understand it. She has lived here for 20 years. So after 4, I have mentioned 20 years. It means that I'm talking about the duration of that living. The other one, we have taught at this school for a long time. Again, we're talking about the duration of teaching, which was for a long time, and that's why we used after 4. The other option that we can have is since, again at the beginning of the sentence, which refers to a point at a time or starting point of that action. So unlike 4 that we were talking about the period of time, and since we refer to the point that that action has started. Let's look at these examples. She has lived here since 1980. It is exactly like the example that we had for 4, but you can see in next one, after since we are referring to a date, the time that the action started. The other example, we have taught at this school since 1965. Again, it refers to the time that it has been started. Is it over? Of course not. We need more options to be able to narrow the time down and give to the audience more specific information about the time, let's say. Next one is just. Just and consequently we will have already. They come between have or has and third form of the verb or past participle. When we talk about just in a sentence, it means that the action has happened shortly close to the present tense. It was in the past, but so close to the present tense. I've just seen Sam coming out of the cinema. So I was standing in a corner of the street, and when I talked to you, a moment before or a minute before, I saw Sam leaving the cinema. As I told you before, another option is using already. Unlike just, already talks about earlier time in the past. So I've already spent my salary and it's 2 weeks before payday. Maybe these two examples doesn't clarify the exact meaning or the exact point that you are looking for by just and already. Let me give you two simple examples, and I'm pretty sure that by these two examples you can totally understand the difference of just and already. What is it? Imagine I come to a class and you have a classmate, Alex. I ask you, where is Alex? One of the students raised his hand and says, teacher, Alex just left the class. Alex has just left the class. He wants to say that exactly the moment that I entered, very, very early time before that, Alex left the class. Or the other student might say, oh no, Alex has already left the class. So by that sentence, he's referring that Alex has already left, means earlier than the time that I entered the class. Next option that we will have to narrow the time down is yet. Normally in this specific occasion, we use yet in negative and questioners. And the meaning can be close to the word still, but there's a difference between yet and still. When we use yet in a sentence like this example, I haven't finished my homework yet, it means that I'm going to do that. So maybe I haven't done it yet, but by using yet at the end of the sentence, I want to mention that that's my plan and I'm going to do that. It is an unfinished job, but I'm going to do that after some time, let's say. So that's the only difference of yet and still. After present perfect, we want to talk about present perfect continuous, which is referring to an action that has started in the past and comes to present. So if you remember, in simple present perfect, we said one action started in the past and finished, and the result or effect can be seen in present. In present perfect continuous, not only the action started in the past, but also comes to present tense. The structure is using have, has, plus been, plus verb ing. Look at these examples. She has been working at that company for 3 years. So it means that she has started working on that company in the past and still he's working over there. The other example, James has been teaching at the university since June. And we have been waiting here for over 2 hours. So as I have mentioned, unlike simple present tense, in present perfect continuous, as you can see on that picture, the action starts and comes to present tense. I repeat, present perfect and present perfect continuous are very important features that if you know how to replace present perfect with simple past, you can prove that you are able to speak complex and you have complexity in speaking. The other option that I have prepared for you is a kind of a note. As you all know, in English, we have some verbs that are called non-action verbs or stative verbs. What are they? They are a specific group of verbs that they never get ing. So when they don't get ing, it means that we are not allowed to use them in present perfect continuous. We have some example of some of them, like believe, concern, dislike, hate, and know, that I'm pretty sure you know the meaning of them. But look at these two sentences. One is not correct and the other one is correct. But as you can see, both are following a standard structure. We have been knowing each other for 2 years, or we have known each other for 2 years. In second sentence, which I have mentioned correct, that ing should be removed to make it correct because it is a non-action verb. There are a lot of, let's say, worksheets for you that we will send it to you, like the ones that we have already worked on it in class. Let's focus on articles. Normally, nouns in English get articles or they don't. But if they get articles, they are divided in two different categories: definite articles and indefinite articles. When we use a and an before a noun, we are not giving any information about the noun. And there is no definition about the noun over there. But the main focus today will be on the article the. So it means when I use the before a noun, I have already given information, or I am going to give information about the noun to make it more comprehensible and informative. We have already mentioned it before, like this example: language leader is the book that we will cover in this module. Or the other one that I'm going to give information, the book that we will cover in this module is language leader. Is there any other circumstance that we can use the? Of course. When we can visualize something, it takes the. For example, in class, I'm pointing at a book and I say, give me the book, without any information, because both of us can visualize it, so we already know which book am I talking about. And that's why it gets the again. The other one, when we have just one of something, like the moon, the earth, and the sun. There is just one sun, one earth, and one moon in the world for us. That's why they automatically take the article the. The moon moves around the earth because we have already just one of these. Next one is using the in superlative adjectives that I'm pretty sure you have already heard about it and know that normally superlative adjectives get the. He is the tallest boy in the class, or it is the oldest building in the town. Because I'm using the superlative version of these adjectives, I use the article the. But as a lot of things, a lot of features in English, we have exceptions in using article the as well. Normally, when we want to use the before countries, it is forbidden. Except some countries that they are collection of some states, some other small countries like the United States, like the United Kingdom, and even some countries that they have plural nouns like the Netherlands or the Philippines. The other one, before mountain ranges we are allowed to use the article the, like the Himalayas. But before single mountains like Mount Everest, we are not allowed to use the article the. Before rivers, before lakes, before let's say continents, and even before seas and oceans, we normally use articles. Thank you very much for watching, but we won't finish here. There will be some let's say worksheets that we will send it to you. You should fill in the blanks, prepare the proper answer, and send it back to us. And I kindly remind you that all topics that we have covered last week and this week will be, let's say, included in your EMA, which is coming soon. Thank you very much and good luck.